Hi, welcome to day 12 of our Raw Yoga Challenge, Finding Your Flow. Okay, so my name is Nzingah, and it's been really exciting to play with these flows with you. And yesterday we had a super chill, restorative practice that was all about laying in the yin side of things. And today we're going to pick it up. We're going to play with a lot of the things that we've played with before. So you want to think about this as truly a Vinyasa flow class, and that we will be moving from one asana to the next in connection to our breath. If I move a little bit faster than you're used to, meet me in the pose at your pace. We will be having holds when we get to our target asana, whatever that may be. But today is really about playing with those transitions. How do we move from one pose to the next? Okay. So with that being said, let's take a moment to ground and settle and just connect to this present moment in our bodies, softening your gaze down to the floor, or maybe even closing your eyes. And just take a few soft belly breaths here, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and let your belly just be free in this moment. Scanning your body with your mind's eye, and noticing the places that feel really awesome and available to this practice. And notice those places that are calling for more kindness, softness, and compassion. On your next inhale, draw your hands in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra prayer position, and just set an intention for today's class, a sankalpa, finding a word or phrase that aligns with the higher things that you're wanting to unfold in your life. Our collective intention for today is I move in the present moment. I move in the present moment. On your next inhale, let your hands fall down to the sides of your body. Eyes are open. Meet me in your tabletop. From here, we're going to do a few cat-cows. So your hands stack underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Tuck the toes under, drop the belly down. Find your cow. Exhale, round and crouch in the chest. Find your cat. And do that a few times. Exhale. Inhale. You can stay here in your cat-cow, or you can start to find your dancing lion, pushing your hips forward and back in a circular motion. So think about hip circles here whenever you hear that. However, one of the things that's really unique about this place in the practice is that it's also a place where you can play with finding the movements that resonate with you in terms of what you need. So maybe you stay in these hip circles, but maybe you play with moving in a way that your body is calling for to open up a little bit more for that practice. So I like to do a little side bends oftentimes when I'm here, but there's no right or wrong. If you haven't reversed your hip circles already, do that now, or whatever movement that you're doing. Meet me back in your tabletop. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees off the mat, and hold for your floating tabletop. So we're trying to do some core cultivation here, pressing away from the ground with your 5 fingers on both hands, pulling those shoulder blades apart, and then drop the knees down. Extend that right arm forward and extend that left leg back, trying to hold here for a few breaths for balancing. Tabletop for 3, for 2, and for 1. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, lengthen. We're going to add on from here. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, lengthen. Bring the right arm out to the right and the left leg out to the left. Now, you may feel a drop. If it feels better, you're going to bring it in a bent position here. And then extend the legs and arm away from each other. Round and curl. We're going to do one more of those. Lengthen out. Find it out. To the side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, lengthen. Right arm, right side, left leg. Drop that left leg down. Sweep the right arm up to find a twist. And on your next exhale, drop down and thread your needle. Holding here. So now this also is partly a playful practice where you get to play with some variations here. You can stay here, or you can start to lift that left leg up and hold it. Maybe bring the right foot up. Again, throughout this challenge, I'm always going to give you as many options as possible to help you feel different things or explore different variations of these poses. On your next exhale, if that leg is lifted, flex the foot, bring it back in line with your hip. Press that left foot down. Sweep that right arm forward. Extend the arms out in front of you. Tuck the right toes under. Push the hips back for a wild child's pose. So the left leg is extended out. So you're going to feel a stretch through that inner thigh. And the toes are tucked through that right side so we can get that modified toe stretch. Sometimes when we're doing that toe stretch with both feet, it's just very uncomfortable. And I find that this feels a lot more accessible. On your next inhale, push up. And then find your left arm and left leg lifting for your kneeling half moon. So you're going to kickstand that right foot back behind you as you transition here. And you're pushing away from the ground and keep lifting that left leg up. On your next exhale, bend the knee. Find your quad stretch. Hold and breathe. And then if you want to go into that back bend, you can start to kick the leg out. Arching the low back. Right, release the hand and leg. Press that left foot down and lift the torso up. And then find your kneeling gait on your next exhale. Inhale, lengthen back up. Cartwheel the hands down. Knee to nose. Square the hips. Round and curl. Inhale, lengthen. Look forward. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen, look forward. Exhale, step that left foot through. Sweep the arms up. Find your low crescent lunge. I told you we're flowing today, okay? So from here, we're going to push back, find your Adhamanasana. So maybe your blocks come here as you do that transition from low crescent lunge to your half split, or you can keep the arms swaying with you. So as you shift the hips back, you bring the arms back, or you inhale, you push forward, your arms are on the block. Exhale, hinge back. On your next inhale, you're going to stop there. Tuck the toes under through that right side and lift that knee off the mat. Squeeze the thighs together, help you find some more stability here. Yep, we're doing good. Hinge forward, find your thunderbolt, roll forward through the ball of that right foot. And then we're going to shift our weight into that left leg to find our warrior three. Again, blocks may be forward and you're touching the blocks for supportive warrior three. Hands can be to the heart center. Drop that right hip down, extend the arms out in front, out to the sides or in front of you, and then stand nice and tall to find your mountain pose. Hold and breathe. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up. On your following exhale, find a back bend. On your next inhale, lengthen back up. Looking forward, exhale, forward fold. Hinge at the hips. Bend the knees as much as you need to. And then on your next inhale, find your half forward fold. Adha Uttanasana. On your next exhale, press the hands down into the ground. So bend those knees a lot more than you think. Come to your high plank. We're holding that for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Drop the knees down. Exhale the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Tuck the toes under. Find your downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. On your next exhale, drop those knees down and then lengthen through that left hand and bring that right leg out behind you. Balancing table. Holding for a couple breaths here. On your next exhale, round and curl. Inhale, lengthen. We're going to do that 2 more times before we add that side part to the flow. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, lengthen, and then bring that leg out to the side on your next exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, round and curl. Knee and elbow go past each other. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring it out to the side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round and curl. This is the one that we're going to hold and then release. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring it out to the side. Plant that right foot down. Twist to the left. And then thread the needle down to the right. So here you can stay and play with that twist of the spine, or you can bring that right leg up and play with lifting the left leg up. That's optional. There's a couple of things that you can do here, but just keep opening that hip towards the right side. On your next exhale, bring that right foot back out and down if it was there. On and push and lengthen. Square. Bring the right leg back. Kickstand the foot. And this is where we get a little funky. We're going to lift that right leg up. Hold and breathe. Keep pushing away. Lifting that leg up higher. And start to bend the knee to find your quad stretch. And then you can stay there, or you can find more of a back bend here by tongue tie, kicking the leg out. Slowly, keep pushing. And then extend that right leg out. Plant the right foot down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, side bend to your right. On your next inhale, lengthen up. Cartwheel the hands down. Square the hips with the mat. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, lengthen back out. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, lengthen back out. Exhale, round and curl. And then look forward, bring that right foot through. On your next inhale, again, you have the options for the block, so grab them if you need them. Sweep the arms up, find your low crescent lunge. And on your next exhale, you're going to push back, hinging at the hips to find your half split. Inhale, Anjanasana. Exhale, Ardha Hanumasana. You're just going to go back and forth for a few breaths. Going as fast or slow that makes sense for you. And on your next inhale, meet me in your low crescent. Push forward through the hip, tuck the left toes under, squeeze the thighs together and lift that knee off the mat. Hold. On your next exhale, hinge forward, bring your hands out to the sides of your body. You know we're going to transition into that balancing pose. Shift the weight into the right leg and find your warrior 3. Again, can you square the hips? Maybe you're grabbing the block. So with hips squared, body goes down, leg goes up. Body goes down, leg goes up. Hands to heart center. Hold and breathe. And then stand up nice and tall to your mountain pose. Tadasana. All right. Breathe and feel and notice. On your next inhale, sweep the arms back up. And we're going to go for a back bend. This time, option to cactus the arms or cross at the thumbs, release the index fingers as the other fingers are interlaced. Push the hips forward, drop the head back to go as far as you can, then start to bring the arms back. There you go. Hold for 2. Keep pushing the hips forward. Keep lengthening through the arms and the spine. And on your next inhale, come back up, sweep the arms out, find your forward fold. Always option to have blocks here. On your next inhale, find your half forward fold. On your next exhale, press the hands down, walk, step, jump to either a plank or your chaturanga. You pick your battle today. I'm going for the plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Option to drop the knees down. You don't have to keep the knees up. We're building through our practice. Find your upward facing. That's thighs, hips. Only thing on the floor right now is your hands and the tops of your feet. If you're in Bhujangasana, then everything drops. Tuck the toes under. Push back into your down dog. Good stuff. On your next inhale, sweep that right leg up. On your exhale, round and curl knee to nose. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, round and curl knee to nose. Inhale. Exhale, press that right foot in between the two hands. Drop the left heel down. Sweep up, find your warrior two. And we're going to play with a pumping warrior. We're going to go from a exalted Trikonasana to your warrior two. So warrior two, we sit down, Trikonasana, toes go up on that right side as you grab your right wrist with the left hand, side bend through that right side. So bending to the left, stretch through the right. Exhale, sit back down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Straighten the leg. Right foot goes in. Heels go out. Find your goddess. We're going to pump it out here. So you're going to sit down, find your goddess pose, and then find your 5-star. Exhale, sit down. Inhale to your 5-star. Exhale, sit down. Inhale. Last one, hold it. You may play with lifting the heels up here or just keep the heels down and just sit down. Sit down deeper. Yeah, right there. And then come back to your star. Bend into that left leg. We're doing a mandala flow. That means the front and the back might change. Bend into the left leg. Cartwheel the hands down. Sweep that left leg up. Now come up onto the ball of the right foot. Knee to nose. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, lengthen. Last one, exhale, round and curl. Look forward. Step that left foot through. Drop that right heel down. Heart will open to your warrior two. We're back on the other side for that pumping warrior. So sit down and then find your exalted Trikonasana. Straighten the leg. Toes go up on that left foot. Exhale, sit down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Straighten the leg. Pigeon toe the feet this time. Exhale, forward fold. Using your block or the floor, left hand on the mat, twist to the right. You can stay here or find a low back bind with that right arm. Notice if you're shifting your weight into the balls, into the heels, shift the weight forward into the balls of the feet. You may even play with grabbing the right ankle with the left arm. Slowly release, find the other side. So we're leveraging the ground to help us twist through the torso. And then we do all that funky stuff. So I want you to focus here more on the twist through the torso than trying to find these binds and these grips. And once you feel comfortable there, then you find your bind. So when you're twisting, you want to think about using your exhale for that. Slowly release. All right. And you're going to bend through, walk your hands over to the right, find your low lunge through that right side. Bring that right foot to meet the left into your high plank. Final vinyasa, knee on the mat or not. Exhale, chaturanga. Untuck, lift up, find your upward facing or cobra. Tuck, find your downward facing. On your next inhale, walk, step, jump to a seated position. Extend those legs out. Roll it down. Roll it down. Roll it down. And breathe. Final Savasana. That was great. Well, it's let's see how you feel. Tell me how you feel, because I might have felt like that was great. And you were like, what, Nzingah? We're going super fast. So just take a moment to bring your hand to your heart and your hand to your belly and just thank your body for all the beautiful things that it does. And then also connect back to your intention. Om Shanti Shanti. I'll see you soon. Meet me on the mat tomorrow. Bye.